Life is short.
I love you.
Love is forever.
Will you marry me?
Gracie grew up to become a full-blown hottie.
You're talking about my little girl, all right?
But you never know what the future holds until it hits.
It's a meteor shower.
This new one you're tracking, how big?
It's what we call a global killer. Nothing would survive, not even bacteria.
The United States government just asked us to save the world. Anybody want to say no?
You think we'll get hazard pay out of this?
They'll do it. They've made a few requests, though.
Such as?
Oscar here has got some outstanding parking tickets. Max would like you to bring back 8-track tapes. Not sure if that's going to work. Yeah, one more thing. None of them want to pay taxes again. Ever.
United States astronauts train for years. You have 12 days.
You stick that in me, I'm gonna stab you in the heart with it.
On July 1st,
Tell me you've never let anybody down before.
I never quit yet. How's that?
Earth's darkest day
How you feeling?
Good, considering I've never been this scared in my entire life.
will be man's finest hour.
I'm marrying you.
You bet you are.
Bruce Willis, Billy Bob Thornton, Liv Tyler, Ben Affleck, Will Patton, and Steve Buscemi.
Whoa, this is so much fun, it's freaky.
All the time in the world
We have 18 minutes to zero barrier.
is all they've got.
We all gotta die, right? I'm the guy who gets to do it saving the world.
Armageddon. A Jerry Bruckheimer production, directed by Michael Bay.
Welcome to Dorking Out. My name is Sonia Mansfield, and I don't want to miss a thing. Joining me is my podcasting sister from another mister and the co-host of Dorking Out, Margot D. Hello, my friend.
Shh. I'm waiting for the Aerosmith songs.
So
here comes another one.
So many Aerosmith songs. Is that the package deal? You hire Liv Tyler and you get Aerosmith songs? I assume.
There was a whole thing in movies for like 10 years, really, where it like every scene had to have a song that was about the scene, right? Like it's like if you don't know what's going on with the dialogue and the acting.
Yeah.
Well, we'll bed this here to make you absolutely sure you know what you're watching.
Yes, that's why if y'all have seen Team America, there's literally a song that's like, we're gonna have a montage.
Right.
We are dorking out about 1989's Armageddon. We decided to do like a big summer blockbuster. This is directed by Michael Bay. It has a lot of different writers, but the two that ended up getting credit were Jonathan Hensley and J.J. Abrams, with an adaptation by Tony Gilroy and Shane Salerno. I don't know what it's
adaptation?
An adaptation from. Did I say adaptation?
Yeah, that's fine. But I was like, but what is it adapted from?
I don't. That's the thing. I was like, I guess a story someone wrote, but I couldn't find anything. It's super weird.
That'd be perfect for book versus movie.
Yeah.
But then I'd have to have Margot watch it, and she'd be like, "Fuck you, no way." Uh-oh. What's coming on this episode?
Uh-oh. This is a very big, expensive blockbuster. We got so many of these in the 90s, and this one's got it's got a pretty banger cast. It's Bruce Willis, Billy Bob Thornton, Ben Affleck, Liv Tyler, Will Patton, Steve Buscemi, love Steve Buscemi, William Fichtner, Owen Wilson before he was really big, Michael Clark Duncan. I always call him Duncan. Yeah, R.I.P. I really liked him.
Yeah, same.
This movie was made for $140 million. It made over $550
$100
million.
million went to Aerosmith.
100%. This movie made so much fucking money. Did you see it in the theater?
God, no.
I absolutely did.
Yeah, I think the summer before we had, Calvin's favorite movie, Independence Day.
Yes.
Wasn't that a 97?
Or maybe 96. Let me look it up. But I think so. We had a ton of these kinds of movies.
Yeah. I liked Deep. I don't remember seeing this in the movie theater.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Deep Impact.
Yes.
Which is similar. I do like an asteroid movie because I think that is how we're going to go.
Yeah, and you're probably right. We had a couple of there was a thing going on for a while with movie studios where they were basically they were just ripping each other off. So we had 2 asteroid movies, and Deep Impact came out first, and then this one. We also had 2 volcano movies, and one was Dante's Peak, and the other one is Volcano, which we will definitely talk about someday because my kid is obsessed with that movie and we should definitely talk about it. But this one was definitely the like super big, action-y, ridiculous, and Deep Impact tried to actually be more thoughtful about is very different movies.
Yeah, they're just different movies. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's doing its own thing. But it is following the whole, just let's hire someone for everybody in the audience to relate to, which is not a bad strategy.
Yeah.
It's still like all men that are saving and these are all men that work on an oil rig. Yes. And I love Ben Affleck. We have to talk about Ben Affleck does a commentary reel that he makes fun of Michael Bay about choices. In this movie,
I put it in my notes because I have actually never listened to the commentary, but you posted something about it, so I was like, "What's going on with the commentary of this movie?"
Ben Affleck makes the very good point of like the whole point of this movie is that there's an asteroid coming to Earth, and so they need to dig into this asteroid to blow it up so that it doesn't. Right. They're going to go to the right and blow it up and then come back. Their whole thing is that they're going to put explosives in it and then jump away. So they're not sacrificing themselves.
Correct.
Which, spoiler, that's what happens in the other movie.
Yes.
But so in this one, but Ben Affleck makes the point, like, why don't they just train NASA people to be drillers versus training drillers to be NASA people? Like, I can see one going to the other, but like, all these men have to learn about gravity.
Well, they waste all this time training them for space. Like,
it would be hilarious if you had you could even have a bunch of snooty NASA people and then they're trained by these people. And that could be, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's just like, oh, those eggheads. Thank God they got us to come by.
Right.
And it's all mostly white men and
anyway. And it's not, here's the thing, like, if you're looking for anything realistic, this is not your movie. There's nothing.
Right.
You can't watch this for this sort of thing. And I will say, I even rewatching it this time, I was like, this movie is basically a 2-hour training montage and 30 minutes of things exploding. And if that's what you like, hey, Armageddon's for you. Armageddon it.
Armageddon it. You really getting it.
I
get it. Y'all.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is
like stupid shit too.
Absolutely.
Just not this stupid shit. That's all.
Yeah, I will say that. So I saw this movie in the theater. I didn't like it. I haven't watched it since the theater, but I know for a fact this is some people's favorite movie.
Yes.
People
they told us in the Facebook group, so we're respecting it.
Yeah, and a lot of people, this movie was on cable all the time. A lot of people grew up watching this movie. Yes, I totally get why people like this movie. By the way, again, super fun cast. First of all, to me, it feels 2.5 hours long, but for other people, that's fine. It's fine, but I can look at this movie now, and at the time, let me back up a little bit. Roger Ebert named it the worst movie of the year.
And that's bullshit.
And I was like, I'm sure it's not the worst movie of the year, but also it's definitely one of those movies that critics hated because it's easy. It's a punching bag. Like, it's an easy movie to make fun of. But audiences really like it. It's one of those types of movies. And I was definitely like the critic in me was like, this is garbage. This would like never happen. Blah, blah, blah. It's wrong. Everything that's wrong with movies. And now I watch it and I was like, I don't know, man. It's just a popcorn movie and that's fine. Can't we have fun things?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but some people have a brain where they can't help but do that. Like, and Ben Affleck is that person because Ben Affleck is a really good director and he's good at story.
Mm-hmm.
This is why, like, I've watched the J-Lo documentary a dozen times now.
So funny.
But there's a scene where J-Lo is talking to Ben. She's directing her movie, and she's talking to Ben like, I don't know if it sucks or not. And he was like, no. This is a whole thing about creating, you know, it's like, as long as the story is solid, this, and this. And she's just like, oh, like she's just like, he's being an adorable high school boyfriend. And it's like, no, he's trying to tell you.
Yeah.
He knows how to put a story together. Like he's solid advice. He knows what he's talking about. So it's funny for me. I don't know if he went to Harvard, but I know he's bright.
Well, he knows how to make a movie. I mean, look what
he's got common sense too. Like he's got that thing about him. Like he just was saying like there's certain things in the movies like why didn't they just do this and this? And it's like yes, because that just would have. But this is not what the movie they made.
No.
That's you don't get that from Michael Bay. You're not going to get any kind of smarts.
No, it's not that kind of movie. And like we've already done an episode on The Rock. The Rock
which is fantastic.
Is so fun. So fun. Yeah. That movie's so stupid. It's real dumb. But like it's super fun and who cares?
And Con Air is a good one. Yes. I don't know if that's him, but it's like that same thing.
Yeah.
Put a bunch of character actors and a couple of action stars.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
This one is
add a Buscemi.
Yeah, add a Buscemi and see what happens. Like this one's not for me.
Throw some cheese on it and throw it in the microwave. Yeah. It's going to be perfect. Trust me.
Yeah, this one is not for me. But again, I understand why people like it. Like,
sure.
So I don't know if we can really go through this one beat by beat like we usually do on these kinds. Because why?
I'll lose my mind.
Yeah, but I definitely want to hit a few things. So obviously, if you're listening to this, you've probably seen it. So the whole thing is a giant asteroid the size of Texas is coming. It's going to hit Earth. We've already been hit by like a bunch of meteors, and they're like, here comes this huge one. And they want to blow it up from the inside. So someone needs to drill into it, drill baby drill into it. And then they're going to blow it up and it's going to part and it's going to just like miss the earth. That's their big thing. And Billy Bob Thornton is he's NASA guy. Here's Billy Bob Thornton. He's NASA guy. And then instead of I think originally it was, we're going to get these drillers to train our astronauts. And for some reason, Bruce Willis tells them that that's not going to work. And that they need to train the drillers to be astronauts. And he will only work with like his crew. And we've also seen Bruce Willis like working on his oil rig. And there's a whole thing where like Ben Affleck is sleeping with Liv Tyler. Liv Tyler is Bruce Willis's daughter, who also
she's beautiful.
And she's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous in this movie.
And her lipstick is like on point.
Yes.
I need that shade.
Yes, she looks so beautiful the whole movie. Even when she's crying, gorgeous. Like, Ben Affleck is sleeping with her, Bruce Willis gets super mad, and it's that stupid fucking trope that you and I totally hate, where, like, dads are like, now I have to kill you. And he's, like, chasing Ben Affleck around with a gun, like, it's so stupid. I'm like, whatever.
And shooting at him at their place of work.
Yes.
Now, with the office massacres we've had nowadays, maybe they wouldn't choose to do that, but that's the patriarchy, y'all. Whee!
Yeah, it's just neither of us are a fan of the like dad that pulls out guns to like scared, like I don't know, like how dare you?
It's dad, posing with her daughter's date to the prom and pointing a gun at a 15-year-old kid like it's hilarious.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that whole trope is just very it felt dated then.
Yeah.
And because I was like, isn't she like 24 or 25? Like,
yeah, she's a grown woman in this movie. Like,
she's not a child. Like, it's not like if she were 15 or 16, I get it.
Yes,
but she's clearly not.
No. So there's all of that. And again, she's absolutely gorgeous. And
that dress, I was obsessed with what she's wearing. I'm like, I need to get that. Yeah.
She's so beautiful.
Her hair is so shiny. We're objectifying her. I'm sorry.
She's also very good in the movie because she's
what she's given.
Yeah. I mean, look, everybody's doing their thing in this movie. They're doing the thing that they were hired for, and so Bruce Willis is like, hey, I'm down to save the world, but I need my team to do it, yo. So they they start rounding up like all the people. And so that's when Steve Buscemi is playing someone named Rockhound, and they call him that because he's super horny, but he's also crazy smart. That's his thing. I really love Steve Buscemi and everything, and I think it's kind of funny that Steve Buscemi made movies like this and Con Air, and he's basically like, I just want a bigger house. Like, that's what he's doing in these movies.
I've got a brownstone in Park Slope, and it's not going to pay for itself. Like, I gotta... Yeah.
And he's doing his Steve Buscemi thing, and that's why we love him, and he's very good at doing it.
Which means he's doing a great acting job.
Exactly.
And he's creating a memorable character, and he completely fits in with what's going on.
Yeah, and then we get Michael Duncan Clark Duncan. Clark Duncan.
Clark Duncan.
Thank you.
And he from Chicago, and he was on the baseball field when they had that whole Death to Disco kind of thing.
Oh.
Like we did an episode on What a Creep, and he apparently he was there that day. 6'6", you'd think you'd notice him, but
he's huge. And that's kind of his role. Like, he's like, hey, I'm super big, and then we meet someone named Max.
Where's your mouse? We'll be best friends.
Exactly.
Where's your magic mouse?
There's a character named Max, played by someone named Ken Campbell. I've seen him in other things. His role in this movie is also I'm also big. And then Will Patton is playing someone named Chick, and Will Patton's always great. He's one of those people who's just always great. And his thing is he likes to gamble, and they all have a little character trait. Also, apparently, he's estranged from his wife, and his little son doesn't know who he is. I'm like, that's sad. And then we meet Owen Wilson, and he's Oscar, and his thing is he's a cowboy.
I love Owen Wilson. I mean,
I do too.
For not having a relationship with his kid.
Yeah.
He has, but this version of Owen Wilson, I was totally on board with and had a crush on. I'll be honest.
Owen Wilson in this movie could have had all of this. He's so
that
charming.
Up nose,
yep.
And that raggedy haircut and that smile. I could have had all this.
All of this. And then there's also this other dude who's just hanging around, and I had to look him up, and his name is Clark Brawley, and his character name is Noonan. He's literally in almost all the scenes, almost never talks, has nothing to do. Wikipedia doesn't even link to another Wikipedia page for him, and he might as well be wearing a red shirt a la Star Trek, and he's gonna die. I don't even remember anything about him. And of course there's Ben Affleck, who's basically the young Bruce Willis, and
his baby face.
Yeah, he is. He's very handsome.
Before he got all those atrocious tattoos.
Oh, Ben. You know what? I still root for him, though. I'm always like, come on, Ben. You could do this. I root for him. I really do.
I do too. And I know I shouldn't. I know there's something probably really kind of twisted there.
Yeah.
But I kind of do too. I know.
There's something about the fact that he was married to Jennifer Garner, and
that makes me.
Yes.
She seems cool, and she seems smart, and she seems down to earth. And she's a good mother. I mean, those kids are turning out great. Yeah.
You get me. She's so good that she sees something. I just deep down, I'm like, come on, Ben, you could pull it together. And when he makes bad choices, I'm like, that makes me feel bad.
That gives me the sads.
It does. It gives me the sads. So it's the whole thing about can we turn these roughnecks into heroes? And they do a lot of slow motion walking, and there's they've got the wrong stuff, and all kinds of flying and swimming, and
I did see this in the theater. Sonia, I'm just remembering because I have a memory. I have an active memory now. Okay, so the whole thing when Bruce Willis is like, okay, they're going to do it, but we need certain things. I went with my friend Maria, who we don't talk anymore since 2016. I think we all know what happened in 2016. But anyway, she was very particular in movies when stupid shit happened. She was known for leaving movies.
Damn.
Yeah, like up and out.
A movie has to be really bad for me to get up and walk out.
Same, because you paid your money, you're already there. Yeah. I'm like knee deep in the popcorn and the treats, so I'm settled. But so it's a part where Bruce Willis is saying, like, negotiating, and then he's like, "We're not paying taxes ever," and the whole audience is laughing, and she's looking at it like, "Why don't they just look him in the eye and say, do this or we all fucking die?" And then she stormed out. She's, "I'll see you across the street."
Like, she's not wrong,
cell
but
phones or anything. Yeah, so I guess I'll see her across the street.
It's also that kind of. It's just that kind of movie. You can't look for logic. Like, you just, If
you're Maria, don't look at this movie. You'll be very upset.
There's also a whole thing where, like, it opens with, like, Bruce Willis, like, hitting golf balls at Greenpeace. It's like, fuck Greenpeace. It's like, we're drilling. It's just whatever. The movie's
Gen X men against hippies.
Yes.
Well, Willis is not Gen X. He's a boomer, but still.
Yes. Yeah. So much of the movie is just like a training montage, and everybody loves a training montage, so it's fine. They just play different needle drops, and the actors like say
there's butt stuff.
Not that kind of butt stuff, y'all.
With Ellen Cleghorn of all people. I was like,
oh my god, yes.
Like,
okay, there's all lots of like, I'm gonna stick this in your butt, and I'm gonna give you this shot, and then we're gonna spin you around
until you have not had a colonoscopy yet. Like, all of us who have are like, all right, no big deal.
Yeah,
because that sweet propofol.
It's just like tons of that kind of stuff. It's very ridiculous with like scientists standing around going like, I can't believe this is the best option we've got, like over and over and over. It's fine. There's also a whole
they needed pocket protectors and like tape, that had like the masking or the duct tape in the middle of it to hold it all together. Like, really? And the guy just yelled,
nerds. They all look like Arnie from Christine, basically. Like, the tape in the middle of
Caveman John Travolta.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, we could talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
So again, so much of the movie is just training montage, and your mileage may vary. Depends on how much you like a training montage. We also there's a whole thing with like Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler, and they're like making out, and like he's like, will you marry me? And he like gives her, and she's like says yes because they're in love, and they get like a last night on Earth before they're like, first of all, I'm like, why do they get a last night on Earth? It seems like time is of the essence here, and if they're ready to go, why don't you just shoot them up there? Why do they get a night where they get to go out and get drunk and like get in fights? And they tell us it's so they know what they're doing this for, but also it seems like you're endangering a lot of lives for no reason. But okay.
You gotta find. We've got some stripper poles, Sonia. We hired some pole dancers. They gotta go to work.
Yeah. So they all have their different like Rockhound, the Steve Buscemi character's like takes out a huge loan from like a loan shark because he thinks they're all gonna die. So he's like spending all this money and like
which I can relate to.
Totally,
that I can relate to. Yeah,
he's blowing it all on.
I just wouldn't. I mean, I'd be hanging out with the dancers. I wouldn't be like.
They're
we gossip.
So there's a whole bunch of them like doing that thing, and then we cut to like AJ and. That's Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler, and he's doing all this like eating animal crackers off her body. It's like and she's like, it's so stupid, it's so dumb, and she's just like, do you think anyone else is doing the exact same thing we are? And he's like, I hope so. And I'm like, no one's doing that. Nobody does that. Like, he's like sticking animal crackers in her bra and in her panties and all. And I was
I guarantee you Ben Affleck came up with that.
Probably.
guarantee you, he sweet talked his way around Michael Bay to say, "I got the idea." Okay. Because everyone wants to see Liv Tyler. Because Liv, we should say, she was a video vixen.
Yes.
We used to call them. This is like 80s and 90s. It's women who were in rock videos. And she was in several Aerosmith videos because her father was Steven Tyler.
Yeah, it's super weird, too, because she was like really sexual in the videos. And it's like, it's your dad's video. It's like, ugh. But other people, they don't care. They're fine with that. Whatever.
Yeah. It was just, people used to do that shit, y'all. It's just, you got to let it go. But my point is that she was hot.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure this is also Affleck, like, for all the guys out there.
That's
like,
right.
What would you do if you had a girl like Liv Tyler?
I would eat animal crackers off her body.
And I'd make it super cute. She'd love it.
I don't love it. I think it's really dumb. But again, this is someone's favorite movie. So while they're all out, like, getting their rocks off, like, more rocks are coming towards the earth and, like, blowing up.
Was it J-Lo with the rocks that she's got?
That's right. Don't pay attention to the rocks that she's got.
I'm cracking myself.
She's just Jenny from the block.
I cannot stop thinking about J-Lo.
She is, well, Ben Affleck and J-Lo. Come on. That goes together like peanut butter and
jelly.
And tuna. So, another meteor comes. It, like, kills all these people in Shanghai. You can't pay attention to what you're like, didn't they see that coming? Don't they want to warn people? Whatever. You can't do that. So they're getting ready to send the drillers up into space, and the president of the United States gives a big speech that the entire world listens to because America, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Like, other world leaders are like, I hope the Americans can pull this off. Like, whatever. By the way, would you go to space if you were given a chance?
It'd have to be very particular circumstances, but I'm terrified of heights. I mean, that would be.
Well, there you go.
And also confined spaces. I'm not great.
I would not go. I would never stop vomiting. Like, that sounds terrible. No, vertigo. I think my vertigo would kick in, and I would be. Where's your sense of adventure? No, thank you.
It's in the toilet right now.
I think I threw it up.
Passed out on the cold tiles, hoping I can make it to my bed at some point.
Yep. If they were like, Sonia, the world needs you to go up into space and save the world, I'd be like, sorry, world.
Oh my God.
We had a good run. Like, it would just never happen. So, we get a whole more slow motion walking. They get on their different ships and they go up to, like, there's a whole thing where they go to, like, a Russian space station, and it's like the other guy from Fargo is in there. Peter Stormare? Is that how you pronounce his name? And he's in Fargo. And so I was like, ooh, Fargo reunion. Honestly, I don't even know what's happening in that thing, but it involves fire, and at some point a bunch of people die, and they all think Ben Affleck is dead, and who's the other? They also think Michael Clark Duncan is dead, and Owen Wilson dies. R.I.P. Owen Wilson. You were a delight. You should have made it through the whole movie.
You and your broken nose.
Yep. Should have made it. Total bummer. So there's like, and then there's like a whole other thing about, like, the president's going to, like, remote detonate the bomb, even though they're not done drilling. And I don't understand why that's a thing. And, like, William Fitcher, like, pulls out a gun in space and is like, nobody touches the bomb. And it's all it takes up, like, way too much fucking time. And this is why the movie starts to drag. And
they could have chopped off, honestly, a good half hour from this movie.
Easily.
And it would have been tight.
Yes.
Like, just call it a comedy.
Yeah.
Right? And then just, like, an hour, 45 minutes, tops.
Yep. And there's, at this point, like, Liv Tyler's thing is to, like, all she's doing now is she's just in mission control crying. and yelling like, my family's up there. That's her only job for like a good hour or so of this movie. That's all she's doing.
Can't you see I'm attractive? Things work out for me.
It's called
hot.
It's called pretty privilege.
I am hot, sir.
You will
Remember
let me
that.
in the mission control at NASA. Yes.
My feelings count. That's it.
Absolutely. All of that is happening at the same time. Steve Buscemi's running around with like fucking space madness, and he's just like, I'm crazy now. And he's like shooting other guns that are up there and acting insane. And they like duct tape him to a chair at one point.
He's turned into Benjamin Buttons, at the very end when he's just this old man baby.
It's very strange. It's whatever. I don't know. Did you ever watch Ren and Stimpy?
Yes.
Okay.
Even though that guy's a creep.
He's a huge creep, and we did an episode on him on What a Creep. There's an episode where they go into space, and Ren gets space madness, and he like loses his mind, and he's like, "You want a bite of my ice cream bar, but you can't have it!" And he's like freaking out. That's Steve Buscemi in this movie. He's Ren. He's got space madness.
Mm.
So all of that's happening, and it looks like they're not going to make it. They're not going to be able to drill as far as they need to drill. And Bruce Willis is like, you need to prepare the world for bad news. And then we get like a montage of like sad people all over the world. And
that montage made me fucking crazy. And then I'm going to just say it.
Yeah.
The end montage, which is all just Americans. And it's like, I was waiting for a woman on roller skates and an old 50s style uniform delivering hot dogs and apple pie to someone's convertible.
Yep.
And then their ponytail is taken away by the convertible. Like, so what we love in America, it's a Ronald Reagan ad.
It
basically.
is. Yes.
Yes. We just talked about Ronald Reagan on our show, and we posted one of his commercials, and it's just that.
Yep.
Fields and red trucks. And
it's all these real Americans.
People.
Real Americans.
Real Americans, right.
Yes, and, I just wrote in my notes, knowing my luck, I'd be stuck in traffic or something. like figures, fucking Bay Area traffic.
I'd be on the subway, stuck on a platform somewhere.
But it turns out they are going to make it because Ben Affleck shows up. Hee-haw! And then they drill, and, like, another rock storm comes. Again, this movie's too long. And in this rock storm, like, another person gets killed, and I was like, R.I.P. random person that I don't remember who you are. And one of them is also Max, who's like, I'm also big. Bye, Max. Bye. Like, floats away. And then they can't, like, remote detonate the bomb anymore. It has to be done manually. And immediately, like, Steve Buscemi's character's like, I should probably do it. And I'm like, why don't they just let him do it? Is it because they don't think he's trustworthy? I guess. Because he's like, hey, I'll do it. And they're like, no, we will make people draw straws. So they draw straws. And, of course, Ben Affleck gets the short straw. And, like, Bruce Willis, like, walks him down. And then he, like rips out his air hose and pushes him back in the shuttle. And, like, he's going to do it. And he gets to, die
a hero.
Yeah, he's gonna die a hero. So he's like, he tells Ben Affleck that he's always loved him as a son and take care of his daughter and all this stuff.
Did it need that? I mean, you could have just done it with a look on his face. He's an actor. He's a good actor. They're both good actors.
Yes, they are.
They just can never let a scene go. They just have to, like, hyper include every possible thing to elicit the emotion, and that's when you drive me crazy. Not you, Sonia. I mean,
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, that just drives me crazy.
I think they include stuff like that in these kinds of movies, and it tends to make men cry. Like, because, like, men aren't, like, they will never say these things out loud in real. A lot.
Yeah, you know what?
Not all men. But, like, so there's that, and he's just like, and then he gets to, like, broadcast into NASA, and he, like, tells Liv Tyler, like, how much he loves her and to take care of AJ, and he gives his blessing to their wedding and all that, whatever. And I will tell you, when I
it's
saw
like, I'm a grown fucking adult, asshole. I didn't need that.
I didn't need your blessing, but cool, thanks.
But peace out. Nice knowing you.
Yeah.
She called him Larry or whatever his name is.
Yeah, she kept calling him Harry.
He wasn't a good father.
Yeah, until he was.
Larry or Daryl or
Larry, Daryl, his other brother Daryl. Yeah, well, no, now he's their dad because he's a hero, so he gets to be dad. But like, where was I going with that? I forgot.
I'm sorry. That's
no. I know where I was going. So I saw this in the theater. People around me were fully crying.
No.
Yes, and I was like, really? like, oh, okay.
And I'm in the theater rolling my eyes and like, why didn't you just let Steve Buscemi and give him something cool to do or say?
Yeah.
Because he's Steve Buscemi.
I have to assume it's that he is not trustworthy. He does have the space madness. So maybe he just wasn't trustworthy. But so he gives his speech and like she cries and there's a whole thing about whether he's going to blow it up in time. And there's a lot of ticking clocks in this movie too. A lot of like digital countdowns happening.
Thank War Games for that. A far better movie about us. Yes.
I love War Games. War Games
is definitely do War Games.
Yeah, War Games is fun.
Get War Games on the list. Yeah.
So spoilers, everyone. He does actually detonate the bomb and he saves the planet. He's a huge hero now. And they all land and like everyone's like, and it's like the end of The Naked Gun where everybody's like hugging and it's like a mailman and a dog and like all these people that are always enemies like hugging and kissing at the end. That's what it looks like on Earth. It's like we're gonna be okay, people. And then like Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler, I keep wanting to say Taylor, I don't know what that's about, are reunited.
You think of Elizabeth Taylor.
Maybe. And she's, again, she's there when he lands and she looks beautiful and they totally make out, and then it ends with like, I don't want to close my eyes, I don't want to fall asleep, while they like get married and like all the other astronauts are there. Yay, weddings, we love cake, woo. And they have pictures of all the other astronauts who died at the wedding, which is something that people do, by the way. It is a thing that people do at weddings for people that aren't there. But it's also like rando dudes that I was like, we didn't even know those dudes, but okay. And we get the song and that's the credits and that's the movie. Ta-da!
Yeah. All two of it.
It is very, very long to me. So I know, is the Criterion disc why they did the commentary, or is the commentary just on like its regular DVD thing? Do you know?
I don't know that, honestly. I just know that when Affleck, I mean, every once in a while it gets passed around on social media and it's just Ben Affleck, like all these different scenes going, I don't know why we did it this way, but we had to do it this way. I don't know why, like they just didn't train the NASA people to do this. And that could have been a fun montage, but they didn't want to do that. I don't know why it's just funny.
It has a Criterion release, which people mainly associate with like, Academy Awards. Good movies. Yeah. Basically, yes. But I kind of get why it has one. And here's why. Because first of all, this came out in 98. So we're like tail end of the 90s here. And this movie is very representative of some of the like most popular movies of the 90s. These like...
It's what I like about Criterion is that they do that. Like they will encapsulate and they'll do a thing like hip hop movies.
Yes.
And then they'll have Crush Groove and Beat Street, with other movies. And I get they're completists in that way. And I like that. I was trying to find it on Criterion. It's no longer there, but for a while they did have that movie, but they also had, on Criterion, what's fun is you can sometimes get director's commentaries or whatever commentaries they had from the DVD. You can get it on Criterion.
Right.
So you don't have to get that DVD, but they don't have this one. And I was bummed because I really wanted to listen to it. But I guess what I should have done, found it on YouTube and then put the movie on and then play that. Fuck me. I just ruined it.
Now you're going to have to watch it again.
And I can't, Sonia. But maybe I'll do it for like 20 minutes or so, and just through the first part.
Yeah, break it up into episodes.
Yeah.
It is representative of the deep impact of Independence Day, of Con Air, Volcano, Dante's Peak, The Rock, Twister.
Summer movies,
yeah,
summer blockbusters.
Godzilla was like all of these really big.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park was a good one. See, some of these are really good, and some of them are really ridiculous. And we got like really heavy on like visual effects, casts that are totally stacked. They are like the disaster movies we used to get in like the 60s and 70s, which were also like your Towering Infernos and Poseidon Adventure and all those airport movies that Airplane eventually went on to make fun of. Those movies are filled with actors that everybody loved at the time. So this movie is very representative of those things. And I get why it's in the Criterion. Do I want to watch this movie again? I do not. But
same.
I understand that a lot of people really... I'd rather watch The Rock over this one.
Or Con Air again.
I would 100% watch Con Air again. Like, this one is not my... Like, what did Michael... I'm going to look up Michael Bay movies, because I think The Rock is probably my favorite Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, he does. He did all the ones with Megan Fox.
He did the Transformer movies.
Thank you. That's what I was blanking on. I've never seen those.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Island. I haven't seen any Transformer movies. He did the Bad Boy movies.
Oh, right.
You know, and those are pretty entertaining. I saw the first two, I think. So, and there's like 3 or 4 of them now, isn't there?
It's Téa Leoni, isn't she the first one?
In which one?
Bad Boys. The first Bad Boys.
Oh, she is in the first Bad Boys. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
like her a lot. That's probably why I like Deep Impact.
Yeah.
I like what she brings.
Yeah, me too. Who's your MVP in this movie?
Nobody. I'm sorry.
I'm going Steve Buscemi. He's my favorite. He's my favorite.
He and Michael Clark Duncan are having fun.
Yeah. They know what I will say most of the people in this movie, yes, they understood the assignment. I did read that there were a couple of people considered for Billy Bob Thornton's role in this movie, including Tim Robbins and Tom Hanks. I was like, Tom Hanks was never going to do this movie.
No.
Robert De Niro was never going to do this movie.
Well, he needs money. Like, he always perpetually needs money. So that's why he does do some stupid shit. But I think even this one would be like, no.
Yeah. And then Michael Keaton apparently was considered.
Well, I love my Keaton.
I do too. And I think Billy Bob Thornton's doing a good job in this movie. And this was like not too long after Sling Blade. So, I
worked on Sling Blade. So this is also a reason I'm remembering now why I wanted to see the movie.
Yeah,
because I wanted to see Billy Bob. Yeah.
Yeah. And like he wanted to get his blockbuster credentials and make that money. And I get it. And he does again, perfectly fine job in the role. Denise Richards apparently was considered for Liv Tyler's role.
It's a Denise Richards part for that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. She would have been great.
And then
she would have been hot. That's like
she definitely would have. And
hot.
like she did one of the
Christmas Jones.
She was Christmas Jones in The World Is Not Enough, I think.
She was a neuroscientist. Yes. She was like a.
That's right.
Yeah. I think it was Christmas Jones or something like that. Is Christmas Snow? No, that was
no. She's like Dr. Christmas Jones. Thank you very much. And isn't the joke that at the end where he's like, we're going to find out if Christmas comes more than once a year? Do you remember that?
Up in my mouth. I just threw up in my mouth. Sonia, you got to warn me.
Sorry, everybody. And apparently some of the people considered for Bruce Willis's part is Arnold Schwarzenegger and Patrick Swayze, which
either one,
sure.
fine. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want you to know it was nominated for 4 Academy Awards. I'm not going to go through all the different things because I don't want to, but it was mainly for sound. Sound and visual effects.
Yeah, that tracks.
And song, actually. It was nominated for song because I Don't Want to Miss a Thing was the thing. But actually it lost to some song called When You Believe from The Prince of Egypt, a movie I have not watched.
What the hell is The Prince of Egypt?
That animated movie, The Prince of Egypt.
That animated movie, what?
It is an animated movie called The Prince of Egypt. Yeah. It's DreamWorks, one of those DreamWorks anime. Yeah, see, nobody talks about that movie and the song. No one talks about that song. It probably should have been I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, because the other ones are, there's one called That'll Do from Babe, Pig in the City.
That'll do, Pig.
There's one called A Soft Place to Fall from The Horse Whisperer.
I've never seen that movie.
No, and
I
then
remember
there's
that book.
a song called The Prayer from Quest for Camelot, which is another animated movie that I did not know existed. So I'm not sure why I Don't Want to Miss a Thing didn't win that award. That's fucking weird. It was also nominated for a bunch of MTV Movie Awards. But I thought you might like to hear the top 10 movies of 98 instead.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. Number 10 is Lethal Weapon 4.
Not a good movie.
No. Number 9, Shakespeare in Love.
That's a watchable movie, I have to say. Yeah.
Number 8, Dr. Dolittle. I'm like,
I've never seen that.
I probably saw it. I wonder if my kid would like it. I don't know. Number 7 is Mulan. I like Mulan. It's fine.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people grew up like Mulan is like their fave. So
yeah, No, I like Mulan.
Yeah. Number 6 is Deep Impact.
I like Deep Impact.
Me too. Number 5 is A Bug's Life.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's not my favorite Pixar. Number 4, There's Something About Mary.
I love that movie. I know it's problematic now, but that shit made me laugh back in the day. That
so
was
funny.
Cameron Diaz is hilarious.
She's so funny in it, and she's adorable.
Yeah.
Everybody drink. Number 3, Godzilla. So bad.
Not a good movie.
So bad. I wanted to like it so bad, too, because, like, it was the follow-up to Independence Day, I think, and I loved Independence Day. I thought it was dope, and I was very disappointed by Godzilla. Number 2 is Saving Private Ryan.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. It's hilarious. You should watch it with There's Something About Mary. Also, talk about like 2 different, like the year before this movie comes out. Sorry, number 1 was Armageddon. It was the number 1 movie of the year. Ben Affleck, and yeah, it was. It made over $550 million.
No.
The year before this is when Ben Affleck and Matt Damon won their Oscar for Good Will Hunting, and then we saw like 2 like kind of different like career trajectories at that point, and like Ben Affleck's like, I'm gonna do Armageddon, and Matt Damon is in like Rounders and Saving Private Ryan. 2 very different career paths at that point. And I remember there was sometimes people felt like they had to decide. They're like, I like Matt Damon more than Ben. You could like both. It's fine. You're fine. So that's our top movies of 1998.
Do you want to hear the top songs for when this movie came out in July, I believe, 1998?
I can't wait.
All right. So number 10, I Get Lonely, Janet Jackson with Blackstreet. I like Blackstreet.
Yeah, and I like Janet
I think I remember
Jackson,
the song.
but I don't remember the song that much. Yeah.
No. Number 9, John B., Are You Still Down? They don't know.
I don't know that one either.
I don't know it either. Okay, good. Number 8, Backstreet Boys. Everybody, Backstreet's back.
Backstreet's back. All right.
All right. I could do the dance for a while there. I was into it.
It's a catchy song. I get it.
That album was great. Or
Yeah.
that CD. That's what yeah, it was good. Number 7, this is so 90s. Sarah McLachlan, Adia.
So like Lilith Fair. Like, I was into it.
Number 6, Puff Daddy, bleh, featuring Jimmy Page, Come With Me. I think that's from...
It's from Godzilla. Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
No, it's terrible. Number 5, Usher with My Way. Number 4,
yeah.
Mariah Carey, My All, one of her ballads.
Yeah.
Sonia, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
Okay. It was number 3, Next with Too Close. I don't know what that is.
I know that song. It's about a guy and girl who are dancing and he gets a boner.
Stop it.
It's literally what it's called. It's what it's about. It's about like they're dancing too close and she can feel it. Yep.
I'm going to vomit again.
Yep. You're welcome.
Number 2, You're Still the One, Shania Twain. Could not escape that song.
No, she was everywhere.
And number 1, the best song ever, The Boy Is Mine, Brandy and Monica. Dope ass song.
I love how much you love that song. I mean, I love it too, but I love how much you love it. That cracks me up. What else are you dorking out about, my friend?
Well, the Olympics are over, which I'm sad about. So, my usual stuff. I'm trying to think. I did see the Netflix documentary about Lacey Peterson.
It's the only thing on my list. I also watched it. I had feelings.
What do you think? Yeah, tell me your feelings. What do you think?
Oh, I think he's fucking guilty. I'm fascinated that it's up for debate, and he has like a sister-in-law who has like gone back to went to law school and has been actively working to prove that he's innocent, and I'm just in awe of that kind of cluelessness. It would take a lot to prove to me that he is innocent. He's very, very guilty. And I'm not just saying that because he cheated on his pregnant wife. I'm saying that because he fucking did it. Like,
I cannot find any other way for this woman. I mean, for people to really latch on to 2 burglars would break into a home where somebody's there.
Right.
And because you don't know if that person has a gun or not, but like, you come upon a woman who's clearly, like, she was very tiny. She's like 5 feet tall.
I had no idea until this documentary how little she is or was. Yeah. She's so little.
And then she was basically homebound because of the pregnancy. Yeah. Like, she couldn't go out very much.
Just the whole thing about like him having the girlfriend and telling her, this is my first holiday without my wife, and then goes out that day, buys a boat that no one knows about. And then eventually, like, he tells people he's going golfing, and then he goes fishing, and then like her body and their unborn child also like wash up in that same area that he was boating, which is like 90 minutes away from where they live. Like,
right.
If he is innocent, then he is the unluckiest man who's ever lived. It boggles my mind. And then they find him, almost on the border of Mexico with like stolen credit cards.
30 miles from the border.
Stolen, like, his brother's ID. He's bleached his hair to look like his brother. All these credit cards, rope, camping stuff, Viagra, like all kinds of cash. And the sister-in-law's like, he goes to San Diego all the time. He was not going to the zoo. Like, he's 100% going over the border.
He's not looking for Shamu.
No, he's not.
And by the way, like, I don't think they had found her at that point. Like, he's still, the way he behaved.
Yeah.
And I know we're not supposed to put too much, thought into that.
Sure, everyone behaves differently. Like, I get it. Like, grief impacts people differently, but
they were missing.
Yeah.
They hadn't been found yet. And he's just acting like no big deal.
Yep.
He's not freaking out. He's not losing his temper. They're all talking about, boy, he was like even tempered. I'm like, that's a sign of like a sociopath, y'all. Like, that's a sign of someone who is a narcissist and fully just uses people.
Yep. And we talked a little bit about this in our What a Creep bonus episode, so I'm repeating myself a little bit if you've listened to this. But what makes me so angry is that dude could just get divorced. You could just get divorced. Like, the fact that you don't want her anymore, and maybe you didn't want to be a dad, why is murder the easier way out for you? Like, just get...
Because he needs to be a victim.
Yes.
This is the thing. He's selfish, but he doesn't want people to think of him as a selfish person.
No, he
Narcissistic people
Yep.
need compliments, and they need to they cannot take people teasing them in any way, and they cannot take being seen in an unflattering light.
Yes.
They're very, very protective of their image,
Mm-hmm.
and they're willing to lie for it. We all know them.
Yeah, we do. And it's just really fucking sad, but it's really well done. I learned a lot about her that I hadn't learned in other things.
Yes. And I think like that's where they succeed most for me is like, I feel like I know her.
Yeah.
And I liked the friendship that she has with her friends, and that the fact that their takeaway was like, you need to have people you confide in. You have to have people that know everything. So if shit hits the fan, something happens. Yeah. I mean, and that's what they take from it, and they keep together. And I think that's healthy. And
it is.
Yeah.
It's sad.
You're my person.
You're my person too.
Yeah.
Someone has to know everything. Because what if something happens?
What if something happens?
Yeah. You know exactly who to call.
I know. Yeah.
Margot knows who to tell the police to look at.
I'm in a flight on the way there. I'm like, I know exactly where y'all need to go.
You're hilarious.
Vengeance is mine.
Vengeance is mine.
Saith the Margot.
Anything else on your list?
No, that was it too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Below Deck.
Yeah, which is so entertaining.
They had it was a hilarious episode. Season 10, episode 10 or 11. They had these people come on, and one of them fancied herself to be an etiquette expert.
Oh my God, what an asshole.
And of course, she acted like a rude, entitled C-word, and it was very fun. And she actually got to like the point where Aisha was like cutting her off. Like,
yeah,
who likes everybody.
Yes, she's the nicest person, and she would do anything for the guests to make them feel comfortable. And to be shitty to her, I was like, you just made my shit list. How dare you?
No, I was glad she stuck up for herself, but it was entertaining to watch. And also, there's another woman who was very rude, and they both have since apologized on Instagram because people watch Below Deck all over the world, y'all. It is a worldwide thing. Like, you act the fool, and people will find you. They will bother you on Instagram.
Oh my God, I would be so embarrassed. I would be so embarrassed if I behaved that way and everyone saw it.
And the primary, when she fell down the stairs,
after acting like such a bitch, and then she didn't like fall, like she didn't break anything, but she fell just enough to like knock her on her ass a little bit.
It hurt her pride. You know that
yes.
You know she was in that room pissed off that she did that because she knows there's cameras everywhere. Yeah.
By the way, I would never go on Below Deck.
I don't want to go out to sea. I know you get seasick, right?
I get seasick, but also I don't want cameras capturing me do stupid shit.
Yeah, it's a twofer for me.
No,
like I'm terrified. I'm a strong swimmer. I'm not afraid of the ocean, but I won't do those big cruise ships because to me it's just now I see just petri dishes floating around the sea. Like
Girl.
It's just.
My mom is on one of those right now on a boat, like on her way to Greenland, and she's sent me pictures. And the boats they're huge, and I was like, I would never get on that boat.
They come in and out of the port here in Brooklyn. I see them, and they're gigantic. But then people tell, and they're actually pretty affordable. A lot of them. As far as, because I think about a vacation, I have friends up in Halifax and I was like, oh, maybe that'd be fun to do. And then, then I hear about women being assaulted or murdered on ships and I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think my anxiety would let me do it, to be honest. Like, I don't think a cruise is my jam.
Did you ever watch it when Rachel was the chef and Captain Lee was the captain? She's an amazing chef, and she's also freaking hilarious. So if I would do it if like she were the chef, and I could get like I would want certain people, like I'd want Aisha,
yeah,
and I'd want Rachel the chef, and I think. I like both. Who's the captain I'm thinking of?
Captain
the one
Jason.
Captain Jason and a budgie.
I would only go if I was his personal guest and we could sleep in the same room.
Can I fuck him? Being the point. Is there a possibility?
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance, right? Like for those people, honestly, I would. Like I would love to meet Aisha, and I would love to. Yeah, I mean, if I can go in and out of a port, that'd be one thing. I don't want to go way out of the ocean.
There you go. See, like, so a friend of mine is taking an Italian cruise, and like they're docking like every night somewhere. So it's like, I'm sorry, you cruise at night, and then during the day you're
while
docked.
You're sleeping.
Yes, and then you can. And I was like,
that's perfect.
Sounds okay to me. Like that.
I'll pop an Ambien and they'll be fine.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'll jam up the door with a chair. Keep myself safe. But yeah, that I could deal with, because then because on these ships, like I also I love local productions of things.
Yeah.
I watch on YouTube, and local like Broadway productions that are on ships are really hilarious to watch, like how they use a stage and how they and I viewed a few of those, and I'm like, I'm enjoying this in the luxury of my apartment, on my couch.
Yeah.
Doing this, if I had to be at sea and sit there through this, it would make me crazy.
I just, like you said, though, I think it is a big petri dish, and
it's also the petri dish thing. Like everyone's getting sick.
Yeah.
You hear about it all the time. Like the water gets contaminated.
Something happens to the food.
Yes.
Like, remember when COVID first hit and there was the ship that was stranded in the bay? We could see it from my house.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We were all like, there they are. It's like, I mean, I'm really far. They can't see me, obviously, but I could see the huge ship because those ships are fucking huge.
They're huge.
They were stranded out there for quite a while because they didn't know where to dock them, because like everyone there tested they all had COVID.
Ugh.
It was awful.
Or you hear about like bad, and especially with global warming, like the bad weather is more intense than ever.
And
the
more
storms
unpredictable.
that happen.
Yep.
More unpredictable for longer periods of time. And we've all seen videos of people like in a lounge and all of a sudden it's filled with water.
Scary.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
I need like a priest like Gene Hackman to like hang out with.
I won't
Margo, take your skirt off.
I won't be
We're
watching
taking
Poseidon anytime soon here.
That's a great movie. We should do Poseidon one day.
We absolutely should.
That's a real Linda.
That would be fun. I love disaster movies. I think
I do too.
My kid too.
Towering Inferno, we'd love to do, because we'd love to have Nat on the show again. He wrote a book about it, but it's not streaming. You can only buy it. You can't rent it, and I'm not paying.
No,
$12.99 for that.
No, it'll come back around though, because I rented it a year or two ago because Calvin and I watched it, and it's definitely something to talk about. It would be fun. So this was the only thing on the Lacey Peterson thing was the only thing on my list too, because we co-host another podcast called What a Creep, where we talk about creeps of the past and the present. And right now we've been doing a 2-parter on Reagan. So last week, Margo did about like Reagan's mental health policies. And I did the lack of response to the AIDS epidemic. So I've been watching a lot of documentaries about Reagan this week. And sure, they're interesting, and I watched the one called The Reagans that's on Showtime, and if you have Showtime, you could just stream it. It's like 3 or 4 parts, and it is really, really good. But they have a lot of different. Yeah, they'll make you very angry, and there's stuff in it that you just can't believe that we're back here again. because so much of what Trump is doing now is like Reagan on steroids. And
Right.
Also, there's just stuff like that you were like, I can't believe that that's a thing. But one of them was his like whole relationship with astrology.
That actually makes me like him a bit more because
But
I
it's-
like astrology. But remember the jelly beans? Like he
Yes.
was totally into jelly beans. Like that was a thing.
Yeah, like so Nancy had like they had a personal like astrologer, and like towards the end of his presidency, they did a whole like where he couldn't like do press conferences at certain times, and like he wouldn't travel at certain times because the astrologer was telling him that that was not when he should do it. And I think if that happened now and the press found out about it, people would lose their fucking minds. So it's really, but it's interesting.
But they did lose it then. But I think we didn't know until later.
We didn't know until later. Yeah. We didn't know when it was happening. I mean, I wouldn't have known at all because I tried not to pay attention to Reagan back then.
I follow astrologers on Thread, so I have a lot of that.
No,
in my
feed. You know what? I'm saying that people would freak out. You're right. A lot of people now are like, that's such a Libra thing to say. More people are into astrology than you think. So maybe not. Maybe people wouldn't care.
We're perfect friends. She's a Libra and I'm an Aries, and they make very good friends. Yeah.
Yeah. We talk about astrology at work sometimes. We're like, we've taken quizzes and done value assessment. We do all that stuff now. So maybe people wouldn't care. But anyway, listen to that podcast. Margot did a great job on the mental health one. I think I did.
Sonia did a great job on the AIDS one.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a laugh riot. No, it's
everybody has AIDS. AIDS.
Back to Team America, World
Team
Police.
America. We have to do Team America.
Honestly, we probably should have paired it with this one and did them both together. But we could definitely do Team America World Police because it would be super
That
fun.
is its own thing, yeah.
It is definitely its own thing. So again, follow us over there and listen to our other podcasts. It's super fun. And where can people find you on the internet, Margot?
I'm at brooklynfitchick.com. I'm at brooklynfitchick for Threads and Instagram, and I'm hoping to build those up. So if y'all can follow me there, that'd be great. And I'm at Brooklyn Margot for TikTok and Twitter.
And if you want to follow me, you can follow me at the SoniaShow.com and the Sonia Show